Welcome to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where emotions and baking are the two most perfect ingredients. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where we talk about our emotions, all while baking something yummy in the hopes of just working it out and just talking it over. So welcome back to the next episode. Today's episode is hurt and some healthy oatmeal bites. I got the recipe from eatwithmia.com. It's super simple, and just by the ratios of the ingredients, it looks like you can make as much or as little as you want. So I'm not going to make a ton because it's usually just me who eats these. I've made different types of recipes before, and we're going to just try this one because I feel like I can pretty much divide it up to how I want. So yeah, I got a nice warm cup of tea today. It is super chilly where I am at, and oh yes, I need the warm tea. And you can tell by my voice it's a little scratchy. Crazy, from literally the last time I filmed, I lost my voice for about 3-4 days, and I couldn't do anything. I wasn't doing much talking, anything. And it's slowly coming back, so bear with me as it sounds a little raspy. But I kind of feel like Phoebe, when she said that she really liked her voice and she liked it when she had kind of lost it. It's kind of, I don't know if I like my voice this way, but we'll see. My laugh sounds kind of funny. It's so low. It's a deeper laugh. So anyways, so in this recipe, we have oats, raisins, peanut butter, honey, cinnamon, vanilla, dash of salt. Now, it does say for the healthy part of more healthiness to put some flax or chia seeds in it. I don't have either at the moment. I used to carry flax and chia all the time, and I don't anymore. And I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit, and I might put some chocolate chips in it just because I feel like it just goes so well together. It kind of defeats the healthy purpose. I'm gonna look in my pantry though. I might have some. So we're gonna mix the oats together, and the oats and the raisins, the cinnamon, a little dash of salt. And it says to put the peanut butter and the honey and kind of melt it in the microwave just for a little bit, kind of soften it up, and then kind of drizzle that over everything and kind of make a goopy goop, and then put it in the fridge to kind of solidify until you form the little oatmeal bites. So we'll do that. So how is everybody doing? It's the seasonal time. If you're watching this when I'm uploading it, it's the holiday season, and if you're listening to it, listening when I'm uploading, it's the holiday season, and there's a lot going on and just busyness and a lot of feelings and emotions around. I feel like this time of year, experiencing a lot of things. Yes, I feel like, but unexpectedly, I didn't think I would be feeling hurt right now. Maybe sometimes around the holidays there is some hurt at times, but I didn't think I'd be feeling it. I don't know. Sometimes my conception. So I guess my perspective around the holidays, there's just a lot going on in my family. My daughter was born 3 days before Christmas. She was a Christmas baby. My mom's birthday is Christmas Eve. So we have a lot of family celebrations around Christmas and around this time, so I feel like between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's just full force, let's go. It's just everything time. So a lot of times during the holidays, I don't feel like I slow down enough not just slow down enough to feel, but it's just I'm basically overwhelmed, and my anxiety is through the roof. And that's usually the only emotion I feel like is happening during the holiday season. It's been that way for years. There's just been so much happening. You got My my daughter will be turning 21. I can't believe this. She'll be turning 21 this Christmas, and so for the past 20 years, we've been doing, birthdays and holiday programs and all the things. It's just been go, go, go for the last. So I think there's room for all the emotions at the holidays. But for me, I feel like if I can look back at not all of them, because I can't. My memory is especially with the perimenopause, my memory is horrible. But I look back on holidays and I just go, oh my goodness, they're just always so busy. I don't feel like I don't rest until the kids have been back in school in January for a couple of weeks. And then I'm like, okay, I feel like it's back to normal. So, yeah. So not to say I can't feel all the emotions and things that normally happen during, or are common. I just feel like anxiety and overwhelm and craziness is at the top, and all the other ones are just, all my other emotions come second. Usually it's oh, I don't want, do I have time? I don't know. But no, I guess not surprising, because it is bound to happen. I've been feeling a little hurt, and getting your feelings hurt is never, and it is, I'm talking about hurt feelings. I'm not talking about injury hurt or that kind. I'm talking about hurt feelings, feeling hurt. And I feel like hurt is such a funny word to say, even to spell, H-U-R-T, hurt. I need to look up where that came from. It's just a funny word in terms of just having to say it, and yeah. I might look that up while I get my supplies out here. Okay, so I did take a chance or a moment, and I looked up what hurt, it means, and it, initially it does mean to make somebody physically hurt, but it does have the emotional in there as well, the emotional meaning, to hurt someone's feelings. But it comes from, it said Old French and Middle English, and that it was basically the person who, it was a herter, H-U-R-T-E-R, a hurter. You hurt. You're a person who, and it says a person who strikes a blow. And I think we can take that in both physical and emotional connotations. You can be emotionally, is it struck? I'm not good on my, don't quote me on my usage of past, present, about all the conjugations or whatever of a word. I don't know. We can be struck. We can be emotionally struck. This tea is so yummy. It is the tea comes in, it's a lavender lemonade honey tea, and it comes in a little, all in a little pack. So I don't have to sweeten or do anything, and I put the hot water in and it steeps itself. It's so yummy. Love it so much. And it's helping my throat. So yeah. So interesting definition of, I knew it meant to hurt, or to, just strike a blow, or to make someone cause physical harm. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, hurt feelings I have experienced hurt feelings. And then throughout, I know my childhood and my young adulthood and all the things, I know I've felt it. And I know I've walked my kids through it when they've gotten either hurt or, just gonna put, it says to put, I'm measuring, I'm going roughly off the directions, measuring with my heart. Where did I hear somebody say that? I heard somebody say that recently. Oh, it's somebody, a food person I saw online, and I gotta look up who that was, but she was so cute. She was measuring it with your heart. It's that's true. I do measure a lot of things with my heart, especially the things that I like the most, like chocolate chips, vanilla. I measure those things with my heart. Cinnamon. I do think you can get too much cinnamon though. So yeah, got to be careful with that. So yeah, feeling hurt, having hurt feelings is definitely an emotion that's, I feel like is such a true, like, because validating hurt feelings too is just, yeah, I think is so important, because hurting is not fun. It's not fun to feel like your feelings are hurt, and seeing it through like kids' eyes and even it's, I know you don't want if you have kids, if you're in that season of life, my honey is a little crystallized, and you can put this in warm water to get it to kind of soften back up, but I need to get a spoon in here to get my honey out, because it's not flowing, as they say. So we're getting it, we're scooping it out and measuring it in the measuring cup. If you ever, like when you're measuring honey and you're like, oh, how am I going to measure honey? It's going to stick all over everything. I sprayed my measuring cup with some cooking spray, and it really helps when you're measuring sticky stuff like honey, molasses, peanut butter. It really helps to make it so that you can clean it very, very easily afterwards. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have my measuring cup and I have it sprayed so it doesn't stick. So yeah. So if you're in this season of life where you have somebody you're caring for, whether it's, your own children, or maybe you have other individuals that you're caring for, and caring for their well-being, it is never ever fun to see somebody you love get hurt. Like, the hurt feelings are so valid, and that hurt and that pain that somebody is expressing or feeling is just so real. I know when each of my children, they've all gone through seasons of hurt, and it breaks your heart to see somebody you love go through such pain of, it could have been somebody didn't say something nice at school, or or a breakup. Oh, that's a hard season to go through. Somebody said something to me at school, or somebody didn't include me, or whatever it is that causes that hurt feeling. Oh, it's so no fun to help or to be there with. It's no fun to see that person hurting, is what I'm trying to say. But it is good for them to have somebody there with them. That's not what I'm saying. It's in that moment of the consoling, and it's just, your heart breaks for that person that, you're helping and consoling. And thinking upon that, 1 second while I take a drink. How are we feeling when it's us who gets hurt? Now, as I'm talking about, like, when somebody that we're caring about gets hurt, how do we feel? And like my kid the other day, one of his friends, he was playing on a video game, and they were talking back and forth on the video game, and I guess the friend and him didn't quite see eye to eye, and they got kind of upset at each other. And then, I'm not sure, somebody said that they weren't going to be friends again, and of course that hurt feelings, and then there was crying, and you walk your kid through it, and I had to walk my kid. I was like, honey, I don't think that, that's not, you can forgive each other, and you can move on, and it'll be okay. And and he's just super stressed, like, no, I don't, he doesn't want to be my friend. And I was like, no, it's fine. And And so doing that type of thing is, it really, oh my gosh, my heart was just so broken, torn up for him, because I knew, that, especially at that young age, my little, they don't understand, and their just feelings are hurt. So anyway, what happens when it's us as the primary care person, or, what happens when it's us who is going through the hurt, and us that's going through being hurt? How do we deal with that, and how does it look like on this end, this side of it? Because as adults, or at least I'm just thinking this through myself as I'm chatting, do we have like this barrier up saying that, like, well, I'm an adult and I should be able to manage my feelings and not get hurt, and tough it up, and sometimes I say put my big girl panties on, just be, have that tough skin. And I kind of want to say it's valid to have your feelings hurt and to feel hurt at any age. I know that we kind of, as a mom and as a teacher, I was able to see kids all ages get their feelings hurt. Even, the teenagers, from the littles to the middles to the teenagers, everybody gets hurt feelings. And it doesn't just stop after you graduate high school. You can still get your feelings hurt as an adult. And I don't think we talk about it enough. Okay, so don't you guys love my ADD brain when I jump from talking about something and then just jump right back into the recipe? Okay, anyways, I have my oats and my cinnamon and my raisins in my bowl, and my peanut butter and my honey in this bowl, this microwave safe bowl. I'm going to put it in the microwave just for a couple of seconds. Going to get it a little bit more less sticky. It's going to kind of get into a pourable mixture that we can go ahead and fold in. I love saying that. I'm sorry if you don't get the joke. If you know, you know. Watch Schitt's Creek. It is hilarious. The folded in episode will forever be one of my favorites. So anyways, and then we're going to fold it in, and then it'll almost be done. I'm going to get my chocolate chips, because I'm not being the best, healthiest of the healthy bites. Okay, hold on. Okay, that was super easy. So we're just going to stir this up so we can kind of make it just a little bit more. Now it's like a creamy mixture. Oh yeah. Oh, we got to add the vanilla in. Remember, and that's something I measure with my heart. I know it said it's only a teaspoon, but I don't really measure very well with the vanilla. Just kind of pour it. So anyway, yeah, the feelings of hurt are definitely valid at any age. And do I want to be, so so right now with my feelings being hurt, my feelings were hurt, and I'm trying to deal with them. And I am trying to see, or I'm using my background as being a teacher, helping kids through getting hurt at school, and being a mom, my kids being hurt, and then dealing with that. I'm trying to work through in my brain, is there a way that I can help my hurt like I helped them? Because unfortunately, my mom does not live close to me. I mean, I'm obviously going to call my mom, because that's just, what I do. I will call her and get some advice and talking to, but what can I do to help the hurt right now in my moment, in this moment of need? I just poured that into the dry ingredients. I'm just going to stir it up. Remember, this is just for me. So I licked my finger. If you're not watching, So, so I'm just going to stir this up. And it is, so the peanut butter and the honey were warm from the microwave. So it's not going to stick to, like they're not going to form immediately very well. So what we're going to do, I'm going to sprinkle in a couple chocolate chips. Again, I'm measuring with my heart. And you didn't see that. Nope. Okay. So now this is just a nice little concoction of oats and raisins and a little chocolate, honey, peanut butter. Remember, vanilla and cinnamon. And I didn't find any flax. So this is going to go in the refrigerator, and it's going to kind of, come together a little bit. I'm going to try to push it together, and then I can form it into little bites to have just like as little snacky snacks when I want to have one. That should be super yummy. Okay. So I'm just going to try to think about so when I'm talking to a student or my child about their feelings being hurt, I try to look at it from their perspective, like why, what caused this hurt, like what caused it, why does it hurt so bad? Like, tell me, and like with my example with my son, when his friend said that he wasn't going to be friends with him anymore. He's just, they were just playing a game and somebody got something that somebody didn't, and I don't want to play with you anymore, and I don't want to be your friend, And yes, the feelings were hurt. And his feelings were hurt because he felt like the statement was permanent. Like it was permanently, his friend was never going to talk to him again. That he felt like it was a permanent, like that was it, draw the line. And I said, no. I was like, I don't, we say certain things in certain moments and we feel compelled in that moment to say some things and they might be hurtful, but I don't, your friend has been your friend for a long time, and in my heart, I don't feel like that's going to be a permanent thing, that it's just for now. And, we're going to say sorries and we're going to, forgive and forget, and it'll be okay. And we'll cut and they'll be your friend, So I feel like, that situation, that he felt the permanence of the statement or what he was being hurt by. And so I'm trying to look at the instance that I was hurt at and figure out the core of why it hurt, like what was the reason for why it hurt? And is there a long-standing, repercussion to the thing that was done to hurt my feelings? Now, it wasn't necessarily done intentionally to hurt my feelings, but my feelings were hurt. So I'm trying, and then walking through a hurt situation, I do think you need to look at the aspect of, does the other person even know they hurt your feelings? Do they know, the situation? Or it could not just be an individual. It could be just, maybe it's an entity that hurt feelings. Oh, I've got tons of stuff about that. Oh, my background. I've had my feelings hurt by, groups of people. And, whether, what is it? How do we walk through those situations of hurting? As adults, like as kids, I feel like as adults, we can help our kids. We can help either students, kids, whoever, like if you're aunt, uncle, grandparents, you can help kids manage and walk and journey through their hurt and give them the tools for when they get older. And for some reason, like I feel like as I've gotten older, have I forgotten my skills from when I was hurt as a kid to walk through the hurt I'm hurting through now? Sometimes I feel like I do. Like I forgot how to manage and walk through some hurt feelings, because I feel like maybe the hurt has jaded or has blindsided my skills to kind of walk through it. I'm just like, my feelings are hurt and I just can't get past it, and it's almost like you have to look back to, your child, like, okay, your childlike thoughts and think like, okay, do I want the hurt to last? No, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to feel like I don't want to have my feelings hurt. Like, who wants to be hurting? I don't know. Do some people? I hope not. I hope not. And I don't want to be hurting. I don't want to feel hurt. So I'm going to try to like walk through my journey of figuring out, why were my feelings hurt, or why did this hurt feeling come on? So I'm going to look at the why. Like, why did my feelings get hurt? That's a big thing. You can tell that I have no solution to this feeling this week. I am actively figuring this out with you on here. So this is what I'm feeling like I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out the why. Why did my feelings feel hurt? That's the first thing. And then I'm going to go and think, did that person, individual or entity, so hopefully you can use this too if you're hurting, do they even know what they did hurt my feelings? I feel like a lot of times people don't know they've hurt other people's feelings. I remember one time I hurt somebody's feelings. I did. Like, I caused somebody hurt. And I had no clue that I had hurt that person's feelings. None. I guess I was just so in a different, my headspace was in I didn't realize the words that I had used or the words I had said had really hurt that person's feelings. And when that person came to me and told me that their feelings were hurt, and I was actually really glad that they did, because it really helped me to stop and think, I need to speak slower. I need to, really watch what I say. I was really glad. It was a pivotal moment in my growth as a person to know that like words can really affect people, whether you aren't intending them to hurt. You don't know what it's going to affect somebody else. And so I was really grateful for that person to communicate that with me, and we did work through it and move past it. And I was super grateful. So I want to kind of pinpoint, like, do they even know that my feelings were hurt? And I think this is a hard one. Do you acknowledge the hurt to the other person? Do you feel like it is important to acknowledge or to even open that gateway of saying, my feelings were hurt, you hurt my feelings, I want to walk through this, I want to work it out, or is that something that you want to deal with? I'm not a huge confrontational person. I mean, I will stand up if something I feel like is wrong. I will stand up and say something. But I also to say, I don't like confrontation. If my feelings are hurt, I'm the type of person who will internalize it, and more than 50% of the time, I will not acknowledge that my feelings were hurt to that person, because I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with any backlash or anything or whatever, and I will sit in my own hurt, and I will just, and I hate to say this, but sometimes it does eat away at you, and it's like, and I'm working on that. I'm working on that. So, and whether or not to know that it's a moment where you should address it is hard as well. Like, when we're kids and we know like somebody has feelings hurt, I remember at recess I would have tons of kids coming to me and saying, Miss Heather, so-and-so hurt my feelings, so-and-so, and you have to, we would sit there and we would talk about it. We would talk about why it hurt and apologies and saying, sorry and forgiving and all the things. And as kids, I feel like it's super important for them to learn that, to be able to verbalize, like, you hurt my feelings, and to say, I recognize I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, and I feel like that's super important. As an adult, feel like a lot of those situations have not disappeared. The situations definitely haven't disappeared, but like that resolving of situations, do we feel, this is just a wonder, I'm just thinking out loud. Is there fears? Are we scared? Are we, we don't want to have to deal with it. I know we're just human, but it's awkward. It is. It's so awkward to admit either that you were hurt or that, somebody who's receiving that from somebody saying, hey, you hurt my feelings. It's awkward for that person to hear that, so it's awkward on both ends. And are we just afraid to like address that there was feelings hurt and vice versa and all the things? I think so. I think there is a lot to be said about like growth in relationships when we can say, hey, you hurt my feelings, and like I'd really like to acknowledge, what happened. Oh, that's hard. It's hard. And we're only human. It's difficult. And those awkward moments are definitely hard. Oh, so that being said, if you are feeling hurt, if someone's hurt you, if you're in a season of trying to figure out the hurt, I hope that we can both figure out how to do that. I don't know if my steps of working through the hurt are correct. I didn't look up a rule book. Maybe there actually is. Maybe there's something online that says, but nowadays I don't trust anything. You can trust me to bake it out and talk it out. That's pretty, that's what you can do. Oh my goodness. Anyways. All right. So friends, I'm going to get this out of the fridge in a few more minutes, roll them up into little bites, and have some yummy, healthy snacks to get me through the day. So I hope you try this recipe. Again, it is from eatwithmia.com. I'll put the recipe in the description below. And remember, whether the salt in your recipe comes from tears or a teaspoon, we baked it out. Have a good one.